Okay, cool. Part 2. So how do we actually go about developing and building our SCT so that we can execute well on our business ideas? Well, before I go into that, someone tell me, someone give me some ideas. Someone give me some ideas. How can you build your skills, capital, and time? Yes, Ryan. Training. Yeah. Okay. What type of training? In what way?
Well, employers usually like train the staff, because if you train your staff more, then obviously you get more profit and more work done. Or like planning as well. And sometimes with businesses like Apple, Steve Jobs used to be the one who like talked to people because he wasn't very good at like the other stuff.
Yeah.
I forgot what the other guy's name was, but he was more.
Wozniak?
Yeah, he was more technical.
He was a technical Donny.
Yeah.
Cool. Anyone else? Tabang?
Develop a business plan suitable for the investors that you might show it to.
Okay.
Which will outline what skills are needed, what employees will require those skills, how much capital will be needed, and on what time frames everything will need to be achieved. Okay, so let me get it straight. You are saying that when so you're basically saying I'm going to be honest that I don't have the skills, capital, all the time. I'm going to write all of this stuff in the business plan, what I need in terms of skills, what I need in terms of capital, what I need in terms of time, and then go to an investor and say, listen, this is my business plan. I have the idea, but I don't necessarily have the other stuff. Will you invest? Is that kind of what you're saying? You draft it to that standard,
right?
And it'll show you what you're missing.
And it will show you what you're missing. Okay, cool. Anyone else? Angel?
I think my standpoint is kind of similar.
Right.
I think everything will be about management. So money management, capital, what can you cut budgets on, what can you save, time management, where can you fit in slots to manage and give attention to your business.
Okay.
Skills management.
Okay, cool.
Out of your time, how much time can you dedicate to reading books and learning new skills and applying them?
Nice. So you've taken the granular kind of vision and said, okay, cool. Where can I invest the effort needed to build my skills, my capital, and my time? Right. Cool. Anyone else? Yeah, speaker.
For money, maybe like get another job or work. For skills, maybe like find online courses like IT skills and things like that.
Nice.
And maybe for time, just do time management skills.
Okay, cool. So thing is, you guys are saying parts of, like the strategies that I've come up with. However, what I want to do is I want to give you a streamlined version, right? So it makes sense. So I've come up with these 2 strategies, and these are 2 that you can consider. I call it the don't laugh at the names, guys, but I think they're cool. I called it, one of them is called the rechanneling strategy, and the second one is called the reduction strategy. Right? These are the 2 strategies that I want you to consider today. So let's get into the rechanneling strategy. So the rechanneling strategy, what this is basically, this process entails acquiring knowledge on how to generate income from courses and strategies that may not necessarily align with your real interests, while also acquiring valuable business skills. And then with the capital and experience you gain, you can then invest that in your desired business venture. Does that make sense? So it's kind of what Tabika was saying, where you're going to go take courses, you're going to go learn from different things, and then what that will do is it will help you build your skills, will help you build your capital, and then help you be able to invest that necessary time. So let's actually give you an example. So Tim is your average 20-year-old computer science student. He has a business idea of creating software that will rival the likes of Microsoft, and he has decent skills, but not the ones necessary to take on Microsoft just yet. Obviously, he's 20 years old, right? And he has a lot of time in his hands, but he's got no cash. Typical student, right? So with the rechanneling strategy, I want you guys to come up with something. You're all business people here. So if I read it to you again, so this process entails acquiring knowledge on how to generate income from courses and strategies that may not necessarily align with your real interests. So if we, remember what Tim's really interested in, it may not align with his real interests, but he's also acquiring, some valuable business skills. And then with the capital and experience that he's gained from that, he can then invest in his, desired business venture. So give me some examples. What do you think Tim can do? Give me like a little step by step. How can he go about it? remember, let me give you a hint. The aim of the rechanneling strategy is to do what? Is to where is it? Is to generate income from courses, right? And to also acquire valuable business skills. So what can he do? Angel?
I think he could take up courses to do at Microsoft. They have so much free courses. Not only would he be analyzing the platform, but he would learn stuff himself like data analytics, business analytics. And then he could freelance because he's also a computer student. He can go and he can do business or data analytics, freestyling, gain money, and invest in his future.
That's good, but not quite. Because remember, this process acquiring knowledge on how to generate income from courses and strategies that may not necessarily align with his real interest. Basically, Tim is just trying to get as much money as he can, right? Get as much money as he can so that he can invest in this idea that, he can, rival Microsoft. And then in that process, he's also gaining as many business skills as he can find. Anyone? What can he do?
As well as finding a way to generate income, he can also cut his expenditure. For example, if Tim drinks a lot, he can just stop going to the pub.
Stop going to the pub. Okay, cool. I hear it. I think that's something, most people should do. If you do drink too much. Anyone else? Okay, cool. You know what? I came up with a strategy, so I can't expect you guys to know. So let me give you the example that I came up with. So first, Tim decides to take up investment courses and learn social media marketing. So you guys know there's a lot of social media marketing courses, that you could go and learn, or maybe he decides to learn how to invest, do crypto, or all of these. I wouldn't recommend that, but he basically anything that he can make money from, right? Then, because he has a lot of time on his hands, he implements this well and starts to earn good money. Remember, he's got time, but he's got no money. Okay? So he implements it pretty well. So with a social media marketing strategy, he starts to make some good money. Or with the investment courses that he does, he starts to make good money. And then in fact, as he starts to earn more and more money, Tim increases his business knowledge and financial literacy. So if you're gaining a lot of money, naturally you're gaining some business knowledge, right? You're gaining some financial literacy to say, look, okay, cool. I'm earning X amount this month. I'm gonna put X amount away. This type of thing. And then afterwards, Tim uses some of his money earned to develop his CS skills. So this is where Angel's part comes in, right? So the money he's earned, he said, I'm gonna put some of that aside to develop my computer science skills. Right, to learn about Microsoft, to do all of these things, to just to increase my knowledge. And then finally, after developing his skills, he uses the rest of the cash earned, finds a business partner, and goes full time with his grand business idea. Guys, this strategy is actually more common than you think. Right? So Wizlaw, the company that I was talking about, we're currently creating content for a company, some videos for the company that company is launching. And this guy did exactly this strategy. And I was like, oh wow, that's kind of the strategy that I've written about. And basically what he did, he did some marketing courses. He created a social media marketing agency. And then, he made some money from that. He sold the business, and then he's decided to invest the money he's made into the bigger business, right? And guess what? The bigger business, the big one that he's starting now, that we're creating content for, it's got nothing to do with the social media marketing. The reason he started the social media marketing is because he knew, okay, this is what's up now. This is how I can make some money, right? This is how I can, gain some, this is how I can create a good amount of capital so that I can actually invest it in what I really want. Does that make sense? Are you guys getting what I mean? And it doesn't have to be social media marketing. It's just kind of what's up now. Again, it could be investment. It could be anything that you can see, that you can make money from. So it could actually be, like Angel was saying, if he does really, really well, he could do freelancing, with Fiverr and things like that. Although personally, I don't like Fiverr. I think they take too much money off of freelancers. So basically anything that could create the money, the money necessary, and then after that, he stops doing that, and then uses the money and the certain skills that he's learned, and goes full time with his real business idea. Does that make sense? Yeah? Okay, cool. So let's actually rate this idea. In terms of the timing, this is probably going to take you around 3 to 5 years to like implement, and at the end of the 5 years, that's when you can be like, okay, cool, I probably have enough capital to be able to start what I really want to start, right? In terms of the advantages and disadvantages, if you do it well, if you implement the strategies from these courses that you see online, and these true courses, you can make money quickly. And then the second advantage is that you have the ability to develop business and financial skills to an extent, right? To a certain extent, because of course you're gaining income, but at the same time, it's not probably in what you want, so you're learning some skills. And then finally, the time that you actually spend doing this, I know it seems long, 3 to 5 years, but think about it. How many people in life they say, look, I'm going to work at my job and spend 10 years at my job and save money, every month. And then when I have the time, that's when I'm going to invest in my business. I'm going to start my business. First of all, they usually never actually end up starting their business because they get so comfortable in their job, And second of all, the money saved is probably not enough. Basically, what I'm saying, guys, is that there's so many opportunities out there, so many ways and so many opportunities out there that you can make money quickly, right? If you're smart, you can look these up, research it, use that to your advantage, make the money you need, and then boom, go, and then use that for your real business. Am I making some sense? Question, yeah, go on, Matt.
It seems like it takes a long time. Is it the capital that takes a long time, or is it just sort of the advertisement, it seems quite a long time to start? What,
3 to 5 years?
Yeah.
Like I said, I feel like it's relatively short. However, again, when you're starting your, when I'm talking about a grand business idea, I'm talking about, like I said, what's the business idea that Tim has? He wants to take on Microsoft, right? That's not gonna require, £5,000, £1,000 here. That's gonna require serious investment, or at least something that he can work on for a few months, 6 months, he's gonna have 6 months of runway to really go for this, right? So what does this mean? He's gonna need to spend time saving. He's gonna need to spend time generating some cash. And I think the best thing is the earlier the start, the better, right? Rome wasn't built in a day. In my opinion, this is a good amount of time. Because you're making money on the side. You're making money, right? You're making money for yourself. You're just also thinking about, okay, I'm not going to stay here forever. I'm going to, invest this in my business. However, what's the disadvantage is income isn't guaranteed. So you could go do these courses and try and make money for yourself, but you might not actually make money. Angel?
I've got a question.
Go on.
Okay, let's say in those 3 to 5 years he applies for grants, he pitches his idea. Would that shorten the time?
Oh, I mean, yes. I mean, like I said, the strategy is just for him to get as much money as possible. And I talk about, grants and stuff in the next strategy. You're always ahead of me, Angel. But yeah, of course, it could shorten the time. But guys, I want to stress one thing. Always think long term. I know you see a lot of businesses, a lot of young entrepreneurs, they're making money, they're going public, they're getting their business valued at 500 million, $1 billion. However, first of all, those businesses are usually in America, and in America you can get, investment for an idea, but no real traction on that idea, right? And then second of all, it's better to think long term. It's always better to think long term because business is inherently long term. So if you're constantly thinking about in the next year or in the next 2 years, listen, you might be successful. However, long term always beats the short term. So I want to encourage you guys to think long term. And when I say long term is 10 plus years, right? This is why I said this is actually relatively short. To be able to make a good amount of money in 3 years where you can actually invest in your business, in the big idea that you have, that's good. In 3 years, that's pretty good. It's pretty good. I wish I started 3 years ago. right? Then I might have been able to, you know, actually invest in creating this home of entrepreneurs that I was talking about. So my point is, think long term. There are ways to shorten it. If you've come up with, say you need, okay, I only need 50,000 to start this real big business idea. Cool. And you get to the 50,000 in 1.5 years, what's stopping you? You can stop. You can, you know. However, like I've said, it's important to think about your SCT, your skills, your capital, and your time. You know, if you raise the 50,000, are you in the position? Okay, cool. You've got the capital, but do you have the skills necessary? Right? And by that 50,000, are you able to invest as much time as you want to? Okay, cool. So, what are your thoughts on the strategy? I know you guys have asked some questions, but what do you think? Honestly, like, do you think it's is there any way that you can improve it? Is there, you know, what are your addendums on it? Anyone? Or what can Tim do? Go on, Angel.
I think the strategy works if you're looking from a realistic point of view of the typical working person.
Right.
Because realistically, especially with the cost of living crisis,
Yeah.
it's hard.
It's hard.
Like you said, long term, 3 to 5 years is not too bad.
Okay, cool. Yes, Will.
I was going to mention that I think this strategy is very much about like investing.
Yeah.
And looking into the future, but in terms of like, if you're looking short term, it doesn't really guarantee anything, and that's probably like the main disadvantage of that strategy.
And that's what I said, like, income's not guaranteed. And look, there's actually no guarantee of success. And I actually didn't even talk about the second one. Tim may be able to learn on the side, so he may be able to do those, you know, those computer science courses, you learn about Microsoft, all of this stuff on the side. However, he'll actually lack real business experience in his preferred subject matter, which is, you know, the software stuff and the Microsoft stuff, because he's making money with some, you know, some business idea on the side where he doesn't really care about as much as he does with the Microsoft stuff. So, you know, think about it in terms of, okay, if my goal is just to get, you know, X amount of money by doing something else, right? You have to think about it from the point of, I'm not going to be able to get real business experience in my preferred subject matter, which is, you know, whatever your preferred subject matter is, right? Cool. Any more thoughts, actually? No? Okay, cool. So the reduction strategy. This is the strategy that I think everyone should aim to do, in my opinion, if you've got a serious big business idea and stuff. So the reduction strategy. This approach involves adopting a reduced perspective towards your ambitious business idea, starting with the foundational aspects and utilizing them to enhance your skills, accumulate capital, and invest sufficient time until you are naturally equipped to tackle your grand vision. That's a lot of words, right? Can anyone kind of explain that? Does anyone get it? If I read it again. So this approach involves adopting a reduced perspective towards your ambitious business idea, starting with the foundational aspects of it, and then utilizing those foundational aspects to enhance your skills, accumulate your capital, and then invest the time until you are naturally equipped to be able to take on your grand vision. So does anyone get it?
So you want to scale down this huge plan that you have for yourself down to the basics and then work up from there.
Perfect. Matthew?
Channeling on the fundamentals.
Exactly. Perfect. It's literally looking, taking, like you guys said, taking the big business idea that you have and then reducing it down to its foundational aspects. Cool. So, again, oh gosh, I think I'm missing a, let me go here. Okay, cool. So this is our second example. Tiana is your average 20-year-old business student. They don't do business here. I know Tabang does. Okay, cool. Average 20-year-old business student. She has an innovative business idea of creating batteries for EVs. You know what that is, right? Electric vehicles, right? She has good knowledge of the EV industry, but she has lots of time on her hands, but she has no money. Based on the reduction strategy, sorry, don't read that. Based on the reduction strategy of looking at having a reduced perspective, starting on the foundational aspects, what can Tiana do? How can she use that to build up to what she really wants to do? What do you guys think? Remember, let me put up what Tiana. Cool. Remember, her business idea is she has an innovative idea for creating batteries for electric vehicles. What can she do? How can she reduce that? How can she start? How can she look at the foundational aspects?
Just trying to find out how she can stand out.
In what way?
How she can stand out from the businesses and competitors.
Okay, but I feel like she's already got that. She's already got the innovative idea, but she needs a way to start so that she can build up her skills, her capital, and her time. Angel.
Start by selling batteries in general.
Perfect. Perfect. Right? And then, okay, develop that. She starts selling batteries, then what? How did she take that? Okay, so let's start with that. So she starts buying and selling batteries. Okay, cool. What's the next level?
She gains a foothold in the market.
What'd you say?
She gains a foothold in the market.
Okay, cool. Nice. Okay, now she's gaining some experience. She's gaining some, she's gaining some market share. Market share within her local, within her local market. She's buying and selling batteries to car owners, to car manufacturers, to your local garages. Okay, cool. She's learning. What are the benefits of that? I've just told you one. She's learning. What else?
Becomes aware of what's in the battery, how to use it.
Boom, exactly. Cool. She's learning about the she's learning about the market. She's learning about the batteries. What does that mean? That she knows she has an increased knowledge, right? She's increasing her skills, right? She's increasing her skills of what's in the batteries. What else? Okay, cool. Now that she's buying and selling in the market, how does she take it to the next level?
Well, just by buying and selling in the market, she's already creating a network of people.
Boom, network. That's the next part. Okay, perfect. Exactly. Now she's creating relationships within the industry, right? She's meeting new people. She's, maybe she gets a mentor, right? She gets a mentor. And she finds a mentor, and this mentor teaches her about batteries to a really great level, and she's building up her network. Okay, great. So now that she's she started by buying and selling batteries, and then she's gained a bit of market share. Now she's developing her network. Okay, cool. Where does she take it next?
Now she's going to be creating behind the scenes whilst looking to me what she's doing.
Creating what? The innovative? Close. I feel like you're one step away. What else? I believe you touched on it and Aisha touched on it. What does she need to do before actually jumping in? What'd you say?
Advertising?
No, not advertise it.
Research and development?
Yeah, kind of. What does she need to write? What'd you say?
Business plan.
Exactly. She needs to write a business plan, right? She needs to write a business plan. That's it. Perfect. You guys got it. Literally what I wrote, you guys said. So, first of all, Tiana decides to start buying and selling car batteries on the side while working in a business admin role. Okay? And I think the reason I said she's working on a business, admin role is because buying and selling car batteries is not gonna, like you said, cost of living. It's not gonna keep her, sustain her, right? So on the side, maybe she's working hard on the weekends. She starts to buy and sell while actually working full time. And then she doesn't earn a lot of money, but she learns a lot about car batteries. Who said that? Someone said, who got it? I think it was Aisha, right? She starts to learn a lot about car batteries in general through that. Even though she's not earning a lot, she's learning. Through this continuous learning and earning, she seeks out a mentor who can provide guidance and insights within the EV industry, allowing her to expand her knowledge and skills in this field. Right? And then afterwards, she gains more knowledge. She ditches the business admin role, starts to buy and sell existing EV batteries, and then because of her increased knowledge and mentorship, she starts to make more money. Now you see how she's transitioned from selling car batteries just normally, and now she's selling EV car batteries. She gained an experience in normal car batteries, and then because she started to learn through her mentor, she said, okay, now it's time to pivot into what I really want to do. But she didn't just go straight into it. She said, I need to start from the basics. I need to learn from the beginning, then get somebody who could teach me more, and then I'll pivot into what I really want to do. Do you see how she reduced it, and now she's building herself up? And then finally, after significantly improving her skills, her network, and time investment, she develops a comprehensive business plan, secures a partner, and raises hundreds of thousands of dollars for her new venture. Cool. So, let's look at the timings and ratings for this one again. This one's going to take longer. Remember, you're taking a reduced view. You're taking a reduced view. You're starting from the basics and you're building up from there. You know, you're building the foundations for your business and you're going from there. And again, this example, literally one of my mentors literally went through this. He had an innovative business idea that he wanted to start, you know, and it was to do with cars as well. You know, something to do with, you know, electric cars as well. However, where did he start? He started with buying and selling normal cars to learn about the car industry. You can't just go, I'm a 20-year-old student, I'm going to go and start this crazy innovative business idea about electric vehicles, even though my SCT is incredibly low. I don't know nothing about electric cars. I don't know nothing about nothing, but I want to start this business idea. Doesn't really make sense, does it? However, when you take a reduced view, you start from the basics and build your knowledge up, you can see how naturally everything starts to fall into place. Tabang, did you have something you want to say?
I was just going to say, that view is click your heels and it's just going to happen.
It doesn't. It literally doesn't work. However, like I said, it's going to take longer. It's going to take longer. Usually. Again, the rule isn't always there's exceptions to the rule. Right? It might take you shorter, it might take you even more longer, depending on the business idea, depending on how much effort you put in, all of this stuff. However, what are the advantages and disadvantages? With this, although you're spending more time, you're gaining a knowledge of your desired industry. If we compare it to the other strategy, the rechanneling strategy, you're just making money on the side, but you're not learning about what you really want to go into. Does that make sense? Right? This is different because you're spending time within the industry that you want to be in. So Tiana's spending time within the car battery industry. And then your likelihood of getting investment is increased. Guys, when we're talking about skills, capital, and time, a huge part of the capital is you actually getting investment. But the thing is, especially in the UK, when you want to go and ask for investment, you don't just say, look, I've got this idea and I'm going to get investment. I think one thing that people don't realize is when somebody invests in your business, they're not actually investing in your business, they're investing in you. Right? So when you secure investment, what you're showing is that I'm the right person to execute on this idea. And if you spent your time building your SCT, what are you showing the investor? That look, I'm able to actually execute. Because like I said, everyone has great ideas, but are you the right person to execute on them? There's a market full of ideas, but the market full of ideas is massive. However, the market full of people who can execute is incredibly, incredibly low. And this is what investors are thinking about. They don't care about the idea. That's why investors will, reinvest in the same types of idea over and over again. It's about the person behind the idea and their team. Have you got a question, or would you just?
Yeah.
All right, cool. But do you understand what I'm trying to say? So when you take this reduced view, your chances of actually getting investment increases. If you say, I want £100,000, you go to an angel investor or a VC firm or whatever, you say, look, I spent X amount of years in the car battery industry. I built a network with this person and my mentor is this person, then I switched to selling EVs. Do you see how I sound more like, not accomplished, but you see how I sound more suited to the job? You're more likely to give me £100,000 than if I said, I'm just this crazy person with an idea, I have this crazy business idea. Listen, you know what? Some investors will take your idea and give it to somebody who can actually execute. Isn't that sad? You'll go in with a full business plan, ready to get some investment, and they'll be like, no, you know what? We don't think the idea is great. Guess what they'll do? They'll go and give it to somebody that that can execute and invest in them. So it's not really about your business. It's really about you, right? It's really about getting the potential investor to believe that you are the right person for the job. It's kind of like an interview, but I didn't want to say it like that, it's just your CV. But I didn't want to say it like that because I know for students that can be a bit. But yeah, and then also, like, I don't know who said it, but I think it was Tabang, your connections and your network is bolstered, strong now. You know people in the industry. You know people in the industry. You can understand. You know who you can go to. That's more important than you think. Your connections within the desired industry is important, especially when you're buying and selling a physical product. Because if you have a good relationship with certain people within the industry, you can kind of you can argue for. They could give you tips of the trade, right? They could say, oh, you could get this product cheaper by doing X, Y, and Z. So, for example, with your wig installing, if you build up good relationship with people within that industry, they could say, listen, stop buying your thing off of here, go to here, they'll give it for X amount. You can increase your profit margin. Do you get what I mean? Your connections and your network has actually been bolstered. It's a lot stronger. And I'm telling you, you ever heard that phrase? What's that cliche phrase? Oh, it's not about what you know, it's about who you know. It's cliche, but it's so true. Because the right person will put you in the right direction. Many people are trying to find the right direction to trying to go, but because somebody knows one person, not because they deserve it, but because they know somebody. Isn't that kind of sad? You may deserve it more. But because somebody else knows somebody, they're on the path. And I see that all the time. We don't live in a meritocracy. We live in a connection-autocracy, or whatever you want to call it. It's the truth. It's the truth. But there are some disadvantages. The time spent can be frustrating. And if you're somebody like me who has a business idea, I just want to do tomorrow, I want to get started on it. I want to let me just jump straight into it. I'm that kind of guy to be like, listen, let me just jump straight into the idea. But if I'm taking a reduced view, I'm saying, let me scale back, it can be so frustrating. Right? It can be so frustrating because you have to intentionally scale back and say, listen, the idea is here, but there's some steps that I need to take to get here. And then second disadvantage, potentially little cash earned in the period of time. So it's not like, the rechanneling strategy where you're intentionally trying to get as much money as possible so that you can go, start this desired business. With this one, what's more important is the experience you're gaining, the knowledge you're gaining, the connections you're making. So the money has to take a back seat for a while.